is the Lexus Sports Xtra with Josh Moser, Mike DePasquale, Donovan Campbell, and Drew Rosenhaus.
You know, we'll never give up. You know, no matter the score, no matter who we're playing, no matter the challenge, this team here is going to give everything that, you know, that we got.
Hi, everybody. Welcome into Lexus Sports Xtra. I'm Josh Moser. What a win for the Dolphins in Baltimore. A career game for Tua. Miami rallying in the final 12 minutes to complete the biggest fourth quarter comeback in franchise history. To M&T Bank Stadium, amazing to think where this game started to where it ended. Opening kickoff, Jason Sanders booting it 3 yards deep into the end zone. Devin Duvernay back to receive. The wideout deciding to bring it out. He's through the first level untouched. Now the second. This turns into a track race. 103 yards on the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Before the Dolphins defense can even get on the field, Miami's down 7-0. Second quarter, the D on the goal line stand, keeping it an all-important one-possession game despite all of those early mistakes. This was huge. Ensuing Dolphins possession. Miami going 5 wide. Tua has Jalen Waddle over the middle. Great blocking out front. Waddle will finally be pushed out near the Ravens' 30-yard line. Biggest play of the first half. Then later in the drive, 2nd and goal from the 6. Tua has Waddle again. All of a sudden, we are tied at 7. Now it's Lamar Jackson's turn to answer. This is Rashad Bateman, the Ravens' top receiver. He will outrun Javon Holland and Xavier Howard to the pylon. The Ravens respond and are back up a touch. Fast forward 4 minutes to play in the second. This time Jackson to his ever-reliant tight end Mark Andrews. Just like that, it's 21-7 Baltimore. Tua hoping to lead a 2-minute drill, but this is one he wants to have back. Looking for Hill, it's picked off in double coverage. Tua throws 2 interceptions to start. Now the Ravens could just take a knee and go into the half up 3 scores, but 4 is better than 3. Jackson to DeMarcus Robinson, the Finns in a 28-7 hole at recess.
You know, I just challenged him to say that who cares what the score is? This is an opportunity. It's a tough one, but that doesn't even matter. They had a spirited effort.
Mike is always going to say this, and this is kind of like the mindset for our team, is adversity is opportunity.
That quote actually written on the wall in the Dolphins locker room. It's 28-7 midway through the third. 3rd and 13 in the red zone. Tua up top to Mike Gesicki. The 6'6" tight end climbing the ladder to haul in the scoring catch. It's back to a 2-possession game. Under a minute left in the quarter. 3rd and short for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson has the seam, and look out. The quarterback is gone. It's a 79-yard house call. Jackson outrunning Xavier Howard. The lead is back to 21 going into the 4th. Ensuing Dolphins possession. 3rd and goal at the 2. Tua escaping the pressure, then the poise to find River Craycraft on the crossing route. All-name team member, it's 35-21. 9 and change to play. Ravens elect to go for it on 4th and 1. Just outside of field goal range, a first down would have allowed Baltimore to run out the clock. Dolphins get the stop and are back on the ball. No Justin Tucker. Tyreek Hill back in the game after dealing with cramps. Gets behind the entire Ravens D. It's a 48-yard score. It's back to a 1-possession game. Tua having a game after throwing 2 early interceptions. 5.5 to play. He's going deep for Hill again. The Cheetah showing off the wheels, admitting post-game he made a check at the line of scrimmage. It worked. This tied the game at 35.
I did my thing to Tua, yee. And he know when I do that yee, just throw it no matter what, man. I'm going to make a play for you. That's kind of the chemistry that me and him built, you know, during this offseason.
Can't stop him on the go route. Next Ravens possession. This time Harbaugh calls for Tucker. It is true from 51 yards out. Baltimore takes a 3-point lead. Under a minute to play. What a play call. The deception, the give to Chase Edmonds. He's into the 2nd level and all the way down inside the 10. That would set up this. Tua waiting, and firing. It is Waddle for the go-ahead score with 14 seconds remaining. Miami erasing an amazing 21-point deficit in the final 12 minutes. It's the Dolphins' largest fourth quarter comeback in franchise history. 42-38, the final.
Tough to come into a hostile environment like this and beat a really good team. You know, we'll go enjoy it on the plane.
I mean, this is huge because he stopped worrying about the last play and took his responsibility serious to his teammates about, hey, I'm going to lead this team confidently. I think it was a moment that he'll never forget. His teammates learned a lot about him, and I think he learned something about himself.
We emptied out everything we had in us. We got to put this one behind us because we got a division opponent coming through with the Bills at home.
It's amazing, man. Just going through the fight with these guys. It don't always pan out. It don't always pay off, you know. I mean, it always pay off, but it don't always work out in the results you're looking for. But we just stayed resilient, man, kept fighting, and we got the result we was looking for.
Extra points.
Drew Rosenhaus is here to help us go through this big Dolphins road victory. Comeback fashion, Drew. When was the last time you saw a Dolphins win as good as this?
Let's see. I've been watching Dolphin games for more than 50 years, and this was as good a comeback as I've ever seen. I can't think of a more thrilling comeback. Late in the game, it's the greatest comeback in the fourth quarter in team history. Wow. All I can say is one of the most thrilling wins in the history of the Miami Dolphins.
You talk about the players playing for my head coach Mike McDaniel, one of them being Tua. We've seen a complete difference in him.
Yes.
6 touchdown passes, ties Dan Marino,
wow,
a franchise record for most in a single game. Drew, how much does this performance silence Tua's critics?
It absolutely silences their critics. There has to be the recognition of a brilliant game. I mean, he was magnificent in the fourth quarter. He played as well as you could possibly play. And, you know, the Dolphins saw franchise quarterback performance in the fourth quarter, in the second half. It was amazing.
Got to talk about this wide receiver duo. We know you represent Tyreek Hill. You're laughing, smiling. Spoke to him after the game. But him and Jalen Waddle combining for 400 yards of offense, 4 touchdowns. How do they compare to the Marks brothers, Duper and Clayton?
I would say this game today was better than any game that Mark Duper and Mark Clayton ever played. Just statistically, as great as the Marks brothers were, and they're both in the Ring of Honor for the Dolphins, and deservedly so, I've never seen 2 receivers in the same game perform at the level that Tyreek and Waddle did. Waddle in the first half was brilliant. Tyreek came out of the locker room dealing with cramps to score 2 stunning bombs, and credit to the Dolphins for making this blockbuster trade. I mean, this team is really an exciting football team.
This sets up, Drew, the highly anticipated matchup against the Bills. You picked the Dolphins to win an upset this week. What's your score prediction going up against the Super Bowl favorites?
Well, I have to watch them play tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. So, I mean, there could be an injury. They may play well. They may play poorly. So it'd be unprofessional for me to say anything other than this is a hot football team. The Dolphins, they're at home, but the Bills are the class of the NFL, in my opinion. The Dolphins have had a hard time against the Bills, but I'm excited about this Dolphin football team, and it should be an amazing atmosphere. Got to think Dolphin fans are going to be stoked. This will be one game where there will be more Dolphin fans than Bills fans. Hey. I can assure you, the last couple of years, the Bills fans have made more noise than the Dolphin fans. I don't think that's going to happen this Sunday.
We're going to find out a lot about this team. Drew, thank you so much, as always. We appreciate you.
You bet.
Is the best. The turning point in the win was in the third quarter. Star wide receiver Tyreek Hill exiting with cramps, only to return for his biggest half in a Fins uniform, helping secure Miami's improbable fourth quarter comeback.
Second time today.
Trailing by multiple touchdowns in the third quarter, Tyreek Hill sent to the locker room cramping. This will be the biggest Miami sports cramping story since LeBron James in Game 1 of the 2014 NBA Finals.
At the beginning of the second half, you know, I played the first series, and I began to feel like a little cramp in my body, man. And I just told Coach, man, it was from all the blocking you had me doing. You know, trying to be kind of funny, like, hey, bro, like, throw me the ball.
For Hill, there was no way he wasn't coming back into the game.
My grandparents always, you know, raised me not to be a quitter, you know, and that's something that's always been my message, you know, to this team, you know, even my kids. You know, no matter what you do, you make sure you go out fighting.
When Cheetah did return in the fourth quarter, Tua Tagovailoa hitting him for a 48-yard touchdown, making it a one-possession game, 35-28.
And the Dolphins are back in business.
I didn't know that we weren't going to have Tyreek, we didn't have Tyreek, but, you know, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, and that's what Tyreek did when he came in.
Then it was the game-tying touchdown with under 6 minutes to play, this time a 60-yarder. What cramps? Hill returning to all-pro form after getting some fluids. The speedster, all about the yards after the catch.
I don't know if I'm drunk off the yak or that IV, because I am feeling kind of loopy right now. I got a group of guys, behind me who's doing the same thing. And as you've seen, we came out victorious today.
Time now for SoFlo Pros.
Every time players lace it up on Sundays, South Florida will be well represented. Miami-Dade and Broward counties producing more NFL players than any other part of the country. We start Jags Colts in Jacksonville. Matt Ryan back to pass. He's picked off by former Cane standout Rayshawn Jenkins. Jags winning a shutout 24-0. Browns Jets in Cleveland. This is former Dolphin Jacoby Brissett to Amari Cooper. The former Northwestern High star catches his first touchdown as a Brown. However, the Jets win 31-30. NFC West rivalry in San Francisco. 49ers Seahawks. It's SoFlo Pro on SoFlo Pro. Nick Bosa sacks Geno Smith. Niners win a blowout 27-7. One more for you. Saints Bucks in New Orleans. Tom Brady has never beaten this team when he's played for Tampa. Great time. Brady to Miami-born wideout Rashad Perriman on the 28-yard score. Bucks win 20-10. That's this week's edition of SoFlo Pros. The Canes will try and put this weekend's loss at Texas A&M behind them. Miami outplaying the Aggies, but mistakes allowing A&M to come away with the victory. Miami, one of the worst tackling teams last year in college football, had some problems wrapping up in this one. Penalties giving the Aggies extra opportunities. For head coach Mario Cristobal, the message to his team is simple moving forward.
We got to get better. Part of the fact that we know how to compete, or at least we show that we can compete in a difficult environment, but competing in itself is just not enough. You got to execute. You got to prevent shooting yourself in the foot on some things, but we got a high character team. Competitive character is high, and we got to get back to working it better.
The loss dropping the Canes from 13th in the country to 25th. South Florida missing a field goal in the final ticks against Florida. The Gators come in at 20 this week. Georgia, Bama, and Ohio State stay 1, 2, and 3 respectively. Drew Rosenhaus is back with us tonight on Lexus Sports Extra. We've got to talk about the Canes falling last night in College Station to Texas A&M. For me, Drew, it felt like they beat themselves. What did you learn about this team?
I absolutely felt like they could have won the game. I do think that this is a young football team, and the wide receivers are going to gel as the season goes on and make more plays. Obviously, the Canes had a really nice performance by their offensive line. I think Tyler Van Dyke is going to get the job done, but the receivers are going to need to continue to step up and make plays to beat the really good teams like A&M on the road in front of 107,000 fans. So I think they'll continue to improve. They can make up for the mistakes, the inconsistencies, and I expect them to be a dangerous team as the season progresses and contend for the ACC championship.
Got to get that win at Clemson coming up. Drew, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Football is family. One father-son duo living that daily here in South Florida. You'll certainly remember the dad. Here's our Mike DePasquale.
Josh, he's a coach that many of us are very familiar with here in South Florida for one local university. Having that coach and his son back together again on the staff is a 2-for-1 deal that has proven to pay off so far.
Watch hard count.
Former Canes and FIU head coach Butch Davis is back in college football. This time, he feels like he's in one of his favorite movies.
Like The Godfather, it's like I'm out there, but they just keep sucking me back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
The return for Davis means a different challenge. For the first time in 50 years, he's not on the sideline.
Wrap him up, good play.
Butch is now an analyst for the St. Thomas University football team, an NAIA school.
I'm not trying to dictate to them and say, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's like, here's things that I have watched from high school when I was a high school coach to Oklahoma State to Miami to the Dallas Cowboys and Cleveland Browns, all the places that I've been.
Butch is once again working with his son Drew, the Bobcats wide receiver and tight ends coach. Drew was an assistant with his dad at FIU.
For him and I, it's always been football is in our life, in our blood. We've always been able to communicate on that level. It was different when he was the head coach, obviously, but, having him around is still a great, great thing.
All I can do with him or any of the other assistant coaches is give them an opportunity to ask questions. What do you think about this? What's a good idea? Have you ever seen this? What have you done?
At this stage of his life, Butch holds no animosity towards FIU, despite his firing last season.
And a lot of things behind the scenes really were not really positive things, but going to bowl games the first 3 years, winning 9 games, winning a bowl game, and then obviously for FIU to win the game against the University of Miami was unbelievable. I mean, that may be, it's in the top 5 or 6 games that I've ever coached.
Bobcats head coach Bill Reichel told me after yesterday's 52-0 win against North American University, having both Davises brings a wealth of experience to help the program. Right now, St. Thomas is 2-1 and in the top 25 in the NAIA rankings. Josh?
Thanks, Mike. Good luck to St. Thomas the rest of the season. We've got to take a quick commercial break. When Lexus Sports Extra returns, we take you around the NFL for the best of Week 2. Plus, it's the story of one local high school football star and Canes commit that's known for much more than his skills on the gridiron. We explain on the other side of the break. Welcome back to Lexus Sports Extra. Time to take you around the NFL for the best of Week 2 play. We start in the NFC West. 49ers Seahawks. Trey Lance goes down. The 49ers QB sandwiched by 2 Seahawks players. This is not what you wanted to see. Here is a second look. He actually had to be carted off of the field. Officially, it is a broken ankle. His season likely over. Jimmy Garoppolo did come in, and San Fran won the game. To Cleveland, Jets-Browns, 25 seconds left. Joe Flacco to first-round pick Garrett Wilson. The Jets stun the Browns in the dog pound. Let's go to Las Vegas. Raiders-Cardinals in overtime. Hunter Renfrow will catch the pass from Derek Carr, will fight for extra yardage, but he coughs it up. Byron Murphy will pick it up, and there is nothing but green turf in front of him. It is a 59-yard fumble recovery and score to win in walk-off fashion. Cardinals scored 22 unanswered to beat the Raiders 29-23 in overtime. Donovan Campbell joining us tonight on Lexus Sports Extra. And D, you met with a high school football player that's starring on Friday nights and on the camera.
Oh, yes, indeed, Josh. With football careers sometimes being cut shorter than expected, thanks to an opportunity of a lifetime, one future massive Miami Hurricane won't be wrestling too hard figuring out his second act. At 6'5" and 315 lbs, Immaculata LaSalle offensive lineman Frankie Tenaloa is a force to be reckoned with on the football field. The physically imposing lineman is committed to the University of Miami. It earned him a role as a stunt double, taking bumps for Hurricane alum Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the NBC sitcom Young Rock.
We happened to play the same position, and at the time they needed players and someone that obviously can play his position and had his body size and his skin tone, so it kind of fell in place.
Due to filming on different coasts, the two powerful Polynesians still have yet to meet.
No, I haven't got the chance to meet him. Hopefully being in Miami and going to UM, hopefully we can cross paths one day.
And after getting the opportunity of a lifetime to do stunts for his idol, acting classes will certainly be a necessary elective when Frankie gets to college.
Definitely want to take that course, take that route, try and follow his footsteps. Going to UM, following his footsteps too, it also helps out. And being Polynesian and having an accent, you can go a long way out here.
Despite having the acting bug, football is the main focus for now. However, Frankie may also have the sense for The Rock's plan B.
What The Rock is cooking.
I definitely would take up the WWE. I think just having the physicality, I mean, why wouldn't I?
He has the charisma and the personality in order to that everyone could refer him to The Rock.
For my last question, I asked the offensive lineman what would happen if he collided with The Rock on the football field.
Godzilla and King Kong.
Whatever Frankie's future holds, I can't wait to witness how it all unfolds.
Man, we got to get this kid's autograph. He's a star.
We have to do it right now so when he gets big time, he doesn't forget about the little guys like us.
That's right. Bright future ahead. Thanks, Donovan. Great story there. Frankie, we're behind you. Good luck. When we come back, SoFlo Pro and former NFL MVP Lamar Jackson explains what went wrong for the Ravens in the 21-point fourth quarter comeback by the Dolphins. The Fins win at M&T for the first time in 5 tries. Welcome back. Overshadowing the Dolphins' record-setting fourth quarter comeback against the Ravens was the play of Lamar Jackson, the former MVP, throwing for 3 touchdowns and rushing for another, accounting for almost 450 yards of offense. The questionable decision in the fourth quarter coming on 4th and 1 at the Dolphins' 41. Baltimore opting to go for it and get stuffed instead of kicking a field goal or punting. Tua then able to lead 3 more touchdown-scoring drives, putting up 28 points in the final 12 minutes.
Just got to finish. Came down to the fourth quarter. They were putting points on the board. We wasn't. They played their tail off, though. What it was, we was up 21 or something like that. They didn't let that define them. They kept playing. That's what we got to do. Got to finish when we up. This is the NFL. Keep doing what we're doing. Put the points on the board. That was a good team win for them, though.
Huge win for the Fins. Let's go to soccer. Playoff hopes at stake for Inter Miami. Just 4 games remaining. A victory against DC United this afternoon would move them into the 7th and final playoff spot. We pick it up second half. Game tied at 2. Taxi Fountas and Damian Lowe get into it. Lowe says Fountas used a derogatory racial slur aimed at Lowe, who is black. The head coaches had to be brought together. Inter wanted to walk off the field. Both players would receive yellow cards. Fast forward to injury time. Gonzalo Higuain hits the game winner. 3-2 is the final. Coach Neville having to sweat it out past the regular 90 minutes of play. Let's go to some baseball. The Marlins eliminated from postseason play this week, looking to avoid a 3-game sweep at the Nationals. We start top 6 tied at 1. It's the All-Star. Garrett Cooper hitting one high and deep to left center field. Watch it clear the wall for a solo shot. It's now 2-1 Fish. Sandy Alcantara on the bump. The Marlins ace would go the distance. This is now 5 complete games on the season to lead the majors. Marlins win 3-1. Alcantara in the Cy Young conversation. Hopefully ownership can put a winning team around him because Sandy is that special. It's 11:50. Not done yet. Big Finish is next. Keep it locked. Big Finish Game 4 WNBA Finals. Las Vegas and Connecticut under a minute left to play. Raquana Williams, the former UM star, the hero. Aces win 78-71, completing their first WNBA championship. Big congrats to Williams and her teammates, but how special was Tua today? A career day for him with 6 touchdown passes. The Dolphins are 2-0 heading into the Bills game next week. Get excited, everybody. On behalf of Donovan, Drew, and Mike, I'm Josh Moser. Thank you so much for staying up late and watching Lexus Sports Extra. It's midnight, everybody. Welcome to Monday. Have a great start to your week. Good night.